All right, welcome to this study, and we've got something pretty controversial, and it has to do with Noah and his son. Let's look at Genesis chapter 9, and we're going to be looking at verses 20 to 25, and what we're going to be looking at, most people have heard the story of Noah's son, Ham, who saw his father's nakedness. Okay. But for a long time, something just didn't sit right with me about what that really meant. So I'm going to uncover some things and show you some things and let you look at them, let you decide, see what you think the text says. So let's get into it. Here we go. Pick your version. This one is just New King James. Genesis 9:20. And Noah began to be a farmer, and he planted a vineyard. And he drank of the wine and was drunk, and became uncovered in his tent. And Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father, and told his two brothers outside. But Shem and Japheth took a garment, laid it on their shoulders, went backward, and covered the nakedness of their father. Remember that phrase. Their faces were turned away, and they did not see their father's nakedness. So Noah awoke from his wine and knew what his younger son had done to him. Then he said, "Cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants he shall be to his brethren." All right, so there's the story. There's the story. So let's take a look at some of the things mentioned in the story, because I want to bring out some things that maybe you haven't seen or considered. Notice how it keeps repeating the phrase, saw the nakedness of their father. When something's repeated, that means pay attention to what it's saying. And you say, why would they pay attention to Noah's nakedness? There's some clues. Now, first of all, for this event, there are only two interpretations. All right? And we have to keep in mind, who is the author of this story? It's not Noah. The author is Moses, because this was written way after Noah. So Moses is receiving the download from God, and he's writing all this down. So just keep that in mind. Two interpretations of this story. One, Ham goes in, sees his father naked, comes out, tells his two brothers, I saw dad naked, and kind of mocks him. And that in of itself would be very, very, very disrespectful to his father and humiliating to his father, which in those days would be very serious and would have very serious consequences. And that's one interpretation. But it doesn't answer per se the question of when this happened. It says Noah woke up, and what did he say? Cursed be Canaan. Who's Canaan? Canaan is Ham's son. Wait a minute. Ham sees his father naked, and his son gets cursed for it? Does that make sense? Let's go a little deeper. Now, the writer Moses is writing and stating this in retrospect. Right? It's already happened. And in retrospect, he's stating to us, the readers, that Canaan is Ham's son. Right? It's a matter of fact. So looking at it in retrospect, in Moses' point of view, you only have two possibilities. Either Canaan was around at the time of the incident or he wasn't. I'm going to pose to you that Canaan wasn't around when this happened. Let's keep digging. I don't think he'd been born yet. So let's fast forward a little bit. When Joshua leads Israel over across the Jordan River and into the land of Canaan, who was what? Inhabited by the Canaanites. And who are the Canaanites? Descendants of Ham. Oh, wait a minute. So Noah's prophecy that Ham's kids, his descendants, would be servants to his brothers. So Shem's descendants, Israel, is crossing over in the Jordan, meets Ham's descendants. How did Ham's descendants get there to begin with? How did they get there before them? That's because they were cursed. And they shouldn't have been there to begin with. They were laying claim to this land that was promised to Israel. So that's why they had to wipe them out. That's why they had to push them out. That's why he said, don't mix with them, don't get with them, because they were doing the same thing Ham was doing. They were doing incestual relationships. They were doing sexual perversion, everything, just like the curse had kept going and going from generation to generation. Now, let's keep going. I want to show you the law of Moses, Leviticus 18:6. None of you shall approach anyone who is near of kin to him to uncover his nakedness. I am the Lord your God. So here God, time out. God's laying down the law here. And he says no one can approach a kin of your father, right, to uncover their nakedness. Verse 7, Leviticus 18:7. The nakedness of your father or the nakedness of, here it is, your mother, you shall not uncover. She is your mother. You shall not uncover her nakedness. Verse 8. You ready? Pay attention. The nakedness of your father's wife, your mom, you shall not uncover. It is your father's nakedness. Oh, some of you are putting it together. Talking about mom, not Noah. All right. One more verse. Leviticus 20:11. And a man who lies with his father's wife, that's mom, he has uncovered the nakedness of his father. Both of them are certainly be put to death. Their blood is on them. Did you get that? Are you starting to connect the dots? So is it possible? Is it possible, according to these two verses right here, Leviticus 18 and Leviticus 20, it says the nakedness of your father's wife is the nakedness of your father, and whoever lies with mama has uncovered the nakedness of father. So let's think about this. We go back to Genesis 9. It says in verse 21, he drank the wine and was drunk and became uncovered in his tent. Then Ham saw the nakedness of his father. So what happened here? Ham got with his mama, if you know what I mean. Uncovered the nakedness of his father means that he had sexual relationship with his mother. Guess what happened as a result of that? Mama becomes pregnant. Mama becomes pregnant from her own son Ham? Yes. And the son is, ta-da, Canaan. That's why Canaan was cursed. Is this making sense now? Oh, wow. All because we're putting dots together and seeing what's happening. So for many years, this has been taught as Ham just saw his dad naked and blah, blah, blah. But it makes more sense now that he had improper relationship with his mom, got her pregnant, had Canaan, who was cursed because of that incestual relationship. And now you have the rest of the story when Israel enters into the promised land and meets the Canaanites. Why there was a big to-do about it. It was fulfilling the prophecy of Noah that Canaan will be serving their brothers. Wow. So I hope this brings maybe a revelation to you, maybe not, but I said it was pretty controversial. But that puts a whole new light, a whole new spin on this verse and on the meaning of the text. Especially if you look at it, like I said, how Moses was writing it in retrospect. He's just giving you the facts. So when he says Ham, the father of Canaan, he's just laying the groundwork. What he's saying is, this is what happened, and this was the result. All right. So I hope you like this teaching. And if you do, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, so every time you see a teaching like this, you will be notified. And most importantly, share it with everyone you know, because teachings like this are really hard to find, and everyone needs to know the truth. Till next time.